What is up, everybody? RandomRandomMan here. Happy Leap Day, and Leap Day this year on February 29th, 2016 just so happens to be the day after the 2016 Oscar ceremony, aka the 88th Academy Awards. Now, I have watched the ceremony last night and I know who has won, so I am just making this quick video to display my thoughts on the winners and just the ceremony itself. In terms of the winners, I have given out my predictions and preferences for who I thought should and will win Oscars this year, which I will leave a link for in the video description, and I will also leave a link to my initial reactions of the nominations from a month ago as well. So in terms of how I did, well, let's go through every category one by one for all 12 categories that I spotlighted in my last video to see how good I actually was in predicting these winners. So for Best Animated Feature, no surprise here, Inside Out won the award, and that was my prediction and preference to win. Best Cinematography for the third year in a row went to Emmanuel Chivo Lubezki for The Revenant. Extremely happy about that. This guy is simply a legend behind the camera and how he does movements, natural lighting, just all the things that were attributed with The Revenant. A lot of it has to go to Lubezki for big credit along with the director. We have Best Film Editing. This is the first category I got wrong. Now, I said that Mad Max Fury Road should have won this category, and I thought that The Big Short will win. But turns out that my preference ended up winning. Margaret Sixel for Mad Max Fury Road won the Oscar for Best Film Editing, which I wasn't displeased by. I was surprised that I was wrong, but I was also very happy that George Miller's wife ended up getting a statue for this phenomenal film. Next, Best Visual Effects. This is another category I ended up getting wrong because I chose Star Wars The Force Awakens to win. That was my prediction for what will win. And for what should win, it was Mad Max Fury Road, of course, since I adore that film. But neither film ended up taking this category. By a great surprise, it ended up going to Ex Machina, one of my other favorite movies of 2015, which I was gladly shocked by. It was definitely a movie that showcased visual effects, even if subtly, not just the effects on Ava, the robot, but also just the background and everything like that. It just looked very stunning. I'm really glad Ex Machina ended up nabbing something, and now that shows that this is a film that people ended up loving and there was enough support from the community to give it that edge in order to get Oscar Gold. We also have Best Supporting Actor. This is the last category I ended up getting wrong, so I got 3 categories wrong in the end. And Sylvester Stallone did not end up winning like I had predicted. That was my pick for who should have won, and it ended up going to Mark Rylance for Bridge of Spies. Now, this is clearly the biggest upset of the night. I can't say I was upset by it. Something in the back of my mind said that someone else was going to take it. Rylance did win the BAFTA for this role, among other awards, but it was a shock nonetheless. I can't talk shade about it or say anything bad about Rylance's performance because I still have yet to see Bridge of Spies. I heard he was phenomenal in a movie that was directed by Steven Spielberg and also starring Tom Hanks. Who would have thought? But yes, Stallone losing, that definitely hurt a lot of people, but it is what it is. I hope to see why Rylance won this award very soon. Next, Best Supporting Actress. I ended up getting this one right. Alicia Vikander did win for The Danish Girl. That was my pick for who should and will win, and I'm just glad Vikander won. I mainly said she should win this award because of my support for Ex Machina. I still have yet to see The Danish Girl, but now I definitely will after she has won the Oscar for this film. Next, Best Adapted Screenplay. I got this right. I said The Martian should win, but The Big Short did end up winning like I had predicted. Best Original Screenplay, I said Ex Machina should win this, but I was right in predicting that Spotlight did end up taking it in the end. Best Director, for the second year in a row, I said that Alejandro González Iñárritu would win. I said George Miller should win, but I wasn't displeased with Iñárritu taking this award. For the second year in a row, he has won Best Director after Birdman, and the third time in history that's ever happened, which is great. This guy, he's keeping the winning streak going for the Mexican community. As someone of Mexican heritage, I'm glad to see that not only did Iñárritu win again, but also Chivo Lubezki. He is a Mexican cinematographer, so for the past 3 years, Best Director and Best Cinematography has gone to Mexicans. Now, as a very proud person of that culture, I just want to say that's freaking awesome. Granted, the last 3 years for cinematography has gone to the same guy. For the past 2 years, director has gone to the same guy. It's still great to see, in my opinion, and it shows that the diversity issue is slowly going away, but it's still very much an issue, like the ceremony pointed out. Best Actress went to Brie Larson for Room. I am so glad she was my pick for who should and will win, and that did end up happening. Genuinely happy for her. Gave probably my favorite acting performance, male or female, of last year, so glad. Best Actor, the biggest award everyone was waiting for, Leonardo DiCaprio did win Best Actor after years and years for The Revenant. Now, his 5th nomination, his first win. I'm glad he won. I didn't think he deserved it until now because he had been doing similar roles up until this point, but for The Revenant, he did some crazy things in that amazing movie that warranted him to suffer for his art. That's what I guess the Academy likes to see, because you can't just get an Academy Award for doing the same thing over and over, although some people have won that for doing the same thing. But DiCaprio, he really proved himself. I'm genuinely happy for him. Great job, dude. And now, Best Picture. This was the category I had the most hesitance over, but I said that Mad Max Fury Road, The Revenant, and Room should win. Obviously, it wouldn't happen for Fury Road or Room. The Revenant had a big chance to win, but what ended up winning was my prediction for Best Picture, Spotlight. I cannot believe I predicted this correctly over many people here on YouTube saying that The Big Short might have taken it, or even The Revenant, but I stuck to my guns, and I'm pretty happy that I got Best Picture right this year as opposed to last year, and I did better this year in terms of guessing a bunch of the predictions correctly as opposed to last year as well. So those are my thoughts on the winners. In terms of the actual ceremony, Chris Rock hosting. Very good host. I really enjoyed what he had to do in tackling the race issue that did plague this entire ceremony. For the first hour or so, his jokes really hit. He is super likable, charismatic, and hilarious. But after a while, I personally felt that the jokes were a bit much. I understand that this issue had to be addressed fully through and through, but after a while it got tiresome. I'm like, why can't you also appreciate more of the films that came out during this past year and just film in general instead of just this race issue? It seemed a little bit hammered over the head at times, but Rock's charisma held out and he still turned out to be a very good host once again. In terms of how the length of the ceremony went, every Oscar ceremony always runs really, really long. At first, I thought the ceremony would run under its 3-hour expected running time because every time someone won an award, there was a little string of text always speeding by at the bottom of the screen showing who this person would like to thank, which made me think that the acceptance speeches would be a lot shorter. But no, the show still ended up running a half hour over its predicted 3-hour running time. So that some things never change. In terms of what I would like to see changed at the Oscars is not only the diversity issue that plagues it, but also the running time and how this show always runs so freaking long. But overall, the ceremony, it was fine. Some of the jokes that they had, again, with the race issue, I really enjoyed. Some of the presenters, it was a delight to see them on stage. My favorite presenter in particular was Louis C.K. presenting the Best Documentary Short Subject Award. He was just pretty funny because it is kind of true that a lot of people really don't care about some of the other categories, like the ones I didn't cover for this year's ceremony. But to many people, this is their big break. Like the people who won for Best Animated Short, Best Documentary Short Feature, or Best Documentary, this is their big moment to win an award live on television. And for those up and coming and aspiring filmmakers, that's great to see. And even for the big winners as well, to appreciate what other side of cinema has to show other than some of the big blockbusters or independent movies that get a bunch of these awards. So those are my thoughts on this year's Academy Awards ceremony. I definitely had a fun time on the short journey through my live reactions to the nominations, my predictions and preferences video, and even this video just spotlighting some of my thoughts on this year's ceremony itself, plus the actual winners. Thank you all, as always, for watching. Until next year, I guess, for the next Academy Awards ceremony, be sure to like this video, comment on what you thought of the ceremony itself, if you watched it, and even on the winners who were officially chosen. Subscribe to my channel for more, and I'll catch you on the next movie review.